things. I want to know about the book.
Sure.
That came in, man. How did we get there? What was the premise behind that?
Yeah.
Because it's prayers for musicians, and I'm not gonna
Yes.
tell it all, but man, just kind of spit that out, and tell us kind of a little bit about that because I want to
Cool.
highlight that, man.
Cool. Well, I always keep a
Yeah.
copy. Well, this is actually
Uh
one of the
huh.
promotional copies. Sounds of the Heart. This is what it
Yep.
looks like. Sounds of the Heart, Volume One, Prayers for Musicians, and I said Volume One because there are more volumes coming, and
Man, looking
even
forward to it.
as of 2022, I believe God just dropped a heavy download on me to
Wow.
dig deeper into that. So I'll kind of go back and then
Yeah.
I'll move you forward.
Yeah.
But it actually started as an idea that launched from not just my personal story, but I have a business mentor and went to a 3-day retreat, and we were just it was called Pray, Plan, and Prosper by Robin Ware, and she just really pressed us all
Hmm.
to really dig deep, into what we could say and what we could offer, not
Mm.
like just the industry, but the world and our,
Wow.
if you will, our target audience. Basically moving us from just being people who are maybe influential in our own circles,
Right.
but what are the things that are tangible that you can start today putting out there and showing up with.
That's so.
And a little bit of my story was that I suffer with depression. I suffer
Wow.
with addiction, sexual addiction,
Hmm.
pornography addiction, things like that. Everybody don't
Hmm.
think it's an addiction, but
No, it's
for
an
me,
addiction, bro.
you're right. For me, it really was. And 20 years dealing with that, even longer dealing with depression, not even knowing what depression was. Of course, being
Wow.
black African American family,
Yeah.
we in church, what I'm saying, we don't think about that. We don't talk about that enough, especially with our kids. But I was depressed. I was, not really knowing who I was,
Wow.
and as a man, as a black man, we get taught sometimes silently, subliminally to close down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
keep,
Right. Yeah.
keep our feelings to ourselves. Keep our questions to ourselves and things like that. And that was me all day. And so I had the dichotomy going on as I
Hmm.
began to grow, older and kind of spread my wings, spread wider,
Right.
and God began to do all these things in my life and my career. And I was meeting people, and people person, and love people and love to
Right.
interact. I'm actually an introvert. I can be extroverted when
Hmm. When
needed,
you need to.
but yeah, but I'm an introvert, so
Yeah.
that just kind of fed into that. So just really closing myself
Yeah.
up, and I had this space where it was just like it was just guarded, and
Wow.
this book kind of comes from that part of my story that had me bound and
Wow.
quiet and just closed off to myself. And I knew me and God had a place,
Yeah.
but opening up for other people to see my scars and see,
Mm.
some of the things I've been through, I haven't been as good at that, at that as I had been with closing up. So this
That's
book
good.
really helped me first and foremost to open up and to say, hey, you know, this is where I was. This
Right.
is where you might be right now. This is how you can get out of it.
That's
This is
good.
one tool that you can use to get out of that place. And it's also a tool that sometimes when you just need prayers, it's a book of
Yeah.
prayers for different situations and different subjects, such as family, forgiveness, finance, all those F
That's
words.
good. Yeah.
Oh God, yes, integrity, wisdom, gratitude. It's
Yeah.
so much there that you can just use to spark your prayer time with
That's
God.
good.
And even if you are a musician or creative who doesn't feel like you have a prayer life or know how to pray,
Mm.
this book can lead you there and give you scripture references, give you reflections and ways that you can even write down what you feel like you're
Yeah.
experiencing and what you're
Articulate.
feeling
Yeah.
and thinking. So it's like I said, it's just the start of more of what's coming more after this. And I felt like this year, top of this year or the end of 2021, I got this download and just this. I
Mm.
had this sense that okay, God wanted me to dig deeper into telling my story. I tell a little bit of it in the
Yeah.
book here and
Yeah.
there, but really taking a different perspective. So there's going to be an expanded and revised version
I love
of
it.
it that is going to be coming out. I'm gonna hustle and get it out in 2022 and make
Let's
sure
do it.
that it goes out and that it really really gets the widespread
Yeah.
attention, I guess that I feel like God wants it to have. My
Yeah.
book, Sounds of the Heart, is available now on my website, TrentPhillips.com,
Yes.
but it's also available on Amazon and Barnes and
Hmm.
Nobles. .com, so you can always get it there. It's still relatively new, so
Yeah.
I don't want to act like it's old. It came out in July or August of 2020,
Yeah.
so it's been
Nah,
here for a little over a year now, and
man.
but it's still new, it's still fresh, and just encourage everybody to get that and
Yeah.
really get in touch with what God is trying to get you to say and open up to
Exactly.
Him, so that He can open you up to more possibilities and just your greater self.
Exactly, man. I think it's needed, bro.
Yeah.
For us, and I encourage everyone. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get you on because we don't have too many people in our community that
Mm-hmm.
are basically shedding on these things. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
we love to get together and for Black church musicians, that's a thing. To shed is a
Right.
thing.
Right.
So we get together and we shed on the chords and shed on the drums and licks and chops and all of those things like that. But the real shedding that we should be doing is these things, these spiritual matters, these
Spiritual.
these 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 financial matters, these
Yeah.
family matters.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steve Urkel in the show. But we should be
Yeah.
talking about, we should be shedding on those things,
Right.
because all of those things represent who we are both on and off the stage, and are of utmost importance, not just to our family and the people around us, but ultimately to God. So
Right.
that's why I thought it was dope to get you on to talk about this and expose it to some people that may not even know about it, that can get it. Because
Appreciate that. Yeah.
as musicians and creatives, our spiritual life is wired a little bit different than
Yeah.
the natural person. And it's nothing knock against, if you're not a creative. Your brain is just, it's a creative. Our brains are wired different. We
Mm-hmm.
look at things different. Me and my wife were having a conversation earlier about worship, and specifically musical worship, and
Mm-hmm.
and how we did, because and how we kind of approach that and how we view that difference. And then so
Right.
we had what we call a passionate conversation about
Yeah.
it.
Oh
And
yeah.
so she was saying this, and she was saying, well, it's this, and worship is this and this, and when you lift your hands, and then, but because I'm a musician, and I told I've been on both sides of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you've been on the stage and in front of the stage, you view work, in terms of the collective corporate church worship, you view
Right.
it in a different light because you've been on both sides of it. So we're just wired a little bit different, to think a
Mm-hmm.
little bit different, and even approach God in a different way.
Absolutely.
Because even when you look at how David as a musician, approached God in some of the conversations, you read all the book of Psalms, and read, and then you look at Solomon, and you read Proverbs, and you look at these different musicians in the Bible and how they approached,
Yes.
God. Is it
Yes.
a
Yes.
different way than a way a Moses approached him, or a way an Elijah approached him? You know what I mean? It's a
Absolutely.
different conversation that a
Absolutely.
creative would have with God versus a non-creative. And so I think having your book, man, that like gives us an insight into how creatives should think about
Yeah.
these things and should
Absolutely.
reflect on these things, I think it's really, really dope, man. I
I
think it's really,
appreciate
really
that,
dope.
man. Yes, man. And thank you for just thinking about it. When you
Yeah.
contacted me about being on, that was one of the first things you said.
Hmm.
Talk about your book, and I'm like, thank you. And
Yeah.
just as the author and the creator, I basically did grassroots efforts, and
Wow.
you supported it from day one.
Yeah.
And I still have people who are ready and willing to support.
Yeah.
So we just want to get it out there in the community. We just want to get the word out
Let's,
there.
yeah,
And I'm
exactly.
not the only one with a book to be written and with a book to be
Hmm.
released. I
Hmm.
want this to also spark ideas and
Hmm.
vision for other creatives to
Oh,
put it
definitely.
out there. I wasn't the
Yeah.
first one. We have a friend, God and Gigs, Alan
Oh, yeah.
Paul.
Yep. That's my
Yeah,
guy.
and I was a part of his. He's from my hometown. We boys from Miami, Florida.
Wow.
So we've known each other for years, and so he
Yeah.
had myself and so many other friends of ours
Yeah.
to be a part of that, and has expanded that to a
Yeah. And
podcast and everything, and it's
yeah.
doing really really well. And so he was an inspiration for me as well to say, okay, you know what? Yeah, I can do this.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I want to do the same thing and just kind of keep paying it forward and
Yeah.
inspire other creatives to come out with whatever you have
Right.
that can speak for you.